up, everybody? Finally, at long last, here we are. I'm doing the lesson, solo lesson for Goofy Goober Rock SpongeBob. Tons of people, plenty of people commented, said that they wanted tabs, said that they wanted lessons, said that they, wanted all that. So, I don't have tabs. I learn everything by ear, pretty much. The vast majority of stuff by ear. So, I'm going to do my best with a lesson. We're going to see how this goes. I did teach lessons once upon a time, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. I was in high school still. Yeah, I was okay at it. I wasn't super great at it. I've never been super great at teaching. Maybe this will be easier. I really don't know. But we're going to get started here. We're going to kind of do this like, I guess maybe a Ben Eller video or Doug Steele. Kind of play the whole solo slow first, just for the guys that just, need to just have it slow down, pick stuff out, whatever like that. And then we'll get to, getting into like taking it all apart, just going through the whole thing piece by piece, and hopefully you guys will learn something. So, all right, let's get started. Tune to E. Let me get turn the delay off. Let's turn the chorus off, just to make everything super dry so that everybody can hear just exactly what's going on now. Okay. Now keep in mind, I don't have the wah right now for this, but he's working the wah through the whole solo, so we're just gonna skip that part. But I mean, I guess you don't really need it, but if you want to be super authentic with it, you gotta get the wah. So, but like I said, we're not doing that for this video. Just keeping everything super simple. Just get right to it. Alright, entire solo, all the way through, nice and slow. Here we go. So we'll get started with the regular lesson, breaking it up, you know, explaining things the best that I can. Like I said, I'm not a super great teacher or anything like that, so I'll do my best. Hopefully everything will make sense. So yeah, I guess for starters, we're in A, key of A. And I will say as well, let me fix this just a little bit. There's probably going to be, some of you are probably going to be a little bit disappointed. Just going to say that. I'll explain in a couple minutes. But yeah, I guess we'll get started here. So, coming out of the riff. Grab 8th fret on the B string. That's G, bend it up to A 4 times. And I usually, I don't know, I don't shake all of them. I usually play the first 2 kind of straight. And then on the end of the second one, I start to give some vibrato there. And then the 3rd and 4th one, shake it a little bit. And this is all, that type of stuff is all whatever you want to do, I guess, but that's just what I do. So then, we got 4 bends, 8th fret on the B. And then you do hammers and pulls from 5, 8, 5 on the B string. So you do a 5, 8, 5. Right, and then you do you go to 7th on the G, do a little hick bend like dime bag. Used to call them, I guess. So that's 5, 8, 5, hick bend, and then do the 5, 8, 5 again. And then do the hick bend again. So really it's 5, 8, 5, little bend, 5, 8, 5, little bend again. So, right? So then, after the second bend, you hit 5 again. And then you walk down 8, 7, 5 on the G string. And that's the whole first lick. So, 4 bends. 5, 8, 5 bend, 5, 8, 5 bend. And then 5 on the B, 8, 7, 5 on the G. That's the first lick. Alright, going into the second lick. So we're here. And then some of the things that I do, I've been playing now for, geez, almost 7 years. Since like summer 2015 is when I got my first guitar and took my first lessons. And only like half of those, not even half, maybe like 3 of those years were I was taking any lessons at all. So I'm mostly self-taught. So some of the stuff that I do, I think about things in a kind of strange way. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So we do. So then we're here. And the way I think about this going into the second lick is that there's like a slide that goes up to this note. And I think of the slide itself as being the first note. So that's the end of the first lick, and then you kind of start from 5th or 7th fret on the D string, but you don't really. You're just kind of here, and then you almost just kind of suggest this note right here, but you don't really play, or you don't have to play it. Like you don't have to go, or you know, you don't have to like hit it so everybody can hear it. Like that, I guess. It's almost like you don't even really hit the note. It's just like the slide from here to here is the first note. That's how I think about it. And like I said, I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm explaining that really well, but that's how I sort of think about it. That's the start of this the second chunk here, which is, so let's just, to make things simple, just make this the first note. So once again, at the end of the last note, last lick, kind of suggest this note up to the 14th fret of the D string, which is an E note. And then that kind of starts the lick. And then you just do 12, 14 on the G, 13 on the B, and then you hit the 15 on the B and bend it to an E. So up a whole step. So that whole thing would be 14D, 12G, 14G, 13B, and then 15 bent to an E. So that's the first E bend, and then you do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is the last one, and you bend that up and release it coming down. So you do the 4, 5th one, like that, and then you do hammer pull from 13, 15, 13 on the B, and then you hit 14 on the G, 13 on the B, so, and then 12, 14 on the G, 13 on the B, 12 on the G again, and then 14 on the G, but you bend it up to a B. I don't bend it, I think it's actually here. You actually bend it up minor third. I think that's what it is in the actual solo. I'd have to listen to it again, I guess. But I just bend it up a whole step to the B note because that's sort of like the minor. It's kind of a minor note in the pentatonic, and it just breaks up kind of the straightness of the pentatonic there. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And then shake that. Alright, third little piece is more sort of a straight ahead, sort of bendy thing, the pentatonic. So it starts out on the 19th fret of the G, bend up a whole step, and then you do 17, 20. 17, 20 on the B, that is. And then you do that again, so you do 17, 20 twice. Then you do 17 on the E, 17 on the B, and then you bend 20 on the B up to A. So a whole step. Twice. So. And then you can kind of do a hick bend there too. Like, I keep calling them that. It sounds kind of dumb. Right there. Then shake that again. Those little like micro tonal bends or whatever they're called. So they just add some, flavor and some kind of, they make you sound like you're not everybody else and that you're not a robot. So you bend that up twice, and then you bend it up a third time. Bend and release. And then hammer pull 17, 20, 17. So you do 17, 20, 17. And then you kind of do a little bit of a unison bend. You don't really have to. Then that's 19 on the G. Bend it up a little bit. Then hit 17 on the B again. And then you can do a unison bend. So that's holding 17 on the B and bending 19 on the G up to meet that note. It kind of sounds cooler. So you don't have to do that. I think actually what I did was so I went. So I pulled it down and did like the Zakk Wylde thing, like really shook the hell out of it. You could do that too. That's cool. And then we do another one of these weird slidey things, which is the last little piece of the first solo section, we'll say. So you come out of that, you get you're shaking the crap out of this note, and then you kind of do the thing again where the slide itself is the first note. Then you slide up to the A on the 19th fret here. And then you do 17, 19 on the G. 17 on, 17 on the B. 20 on the B. So then 17 on the E, which so you're just basically running straight up the scale. Then you go back to 17 on the B string. Then a little bend again on the 20 on the B. And then, so that's a little bend, and then 17E, 17B. And then do that twice. So, sorry if this is getting confusing. Like I said, I sometimes, I don't know. Can you tell I don't do this a lot? So the whole lick so far is. So you do that little thing twice. And then you take the 20 on the E string and bend it up a whole step. So. And then you release it to its original note and then bend it up a couple times. Let me see. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's a total of 4 couples, 4 pairs. So you got the original bend, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then the last one you just bend it, shake it again. Okay, so this is what I was talking about in the beginning when I said you might be disappointed. And this is probably the part that everybody wants to see, or everybody wants to learn, and I'm going to try to sort of get through it, or tell you again, like I said, how I think about it, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I never learned this part, this, you know, the fast little section. I didn't learn it. I learned the first 3 notes, and at the last note, and I just ripped up and down, because I think I said in the description of this video, I forget even what I put, but it was basically something that I didn't play this seriously. I had, and I gotta thank everybody. That's another thing that's really overdue. I gotta thank you guys, because that video now has, the Goofy Goober video has like 500,000 views almost, which is insane. And most of my subscribers, or at least a really big chunk of them, came from that video. So thank you for that. And like I said, I wasn't expecting it at all. I was doing it as a stupid kind of a joke. So like I said, I didn't even bother to learn what this actually was. I kind of tried to, but it's really busy and it's kind of sloppy. No offense to whoever played it, but so I just didn't feel like taking the time to really learn it. So anyway, yeah, I hope you're not like super disappointed, but I'll try to, again, like I said, explain how I think about it. So to start, the first couple notes, because I figured that if I could get the first couple notes and hit the last note, it would sound fine, as long as I, you know, stayed in the scale relatively and, you know, hit the first couple notes. And I guess I was right. So first couple notes, 5 7 7, not 8. I know 8 is the pentatonic. It's that. It's 5 7 5 on the E, and then 8 on the B. And then what kind of happens is he really just walks down this scale in a way. He goes down it and then back up and ends on the A, which is why it just, you know, you can play whatever you want. It just sounds good, I guess. So I guess that's kind of maybe helpful because then it's like you don't really have to learn it, you know. You could just sort of play the first couple notes and then just rip something, because I know you guys all can rip, right? So play the first couple notes, you know, blast down the pentatonic with a couple extra notes, Dorian. And then end up on this A here, or even this one, and you'll be good to go. So I keep going off track here. So the first couple notes, 5 7 5 on the E, 8 on the B. And it's kind of like that kind of a deal. And I can't even really, I sort of played it the way just in the beginning of this video like I did in the actual video, but it's kind of a walk down thing like that. So here's what I'll do. The scale notes are this. So like I said, 5 7 5 on the E, and then when you're going down the pentatonic scale, the notes are this: 8 7 5, so that's 8 7 5 on the B, and then 8 7 5 on the G. You could even add that one if you're doing something, you know. So that's 6 on the G, but that doesn't really fit here, in my opinion. So 5 7 8, or yeah, 5 7 8 on the B and the G, and then 7 6 5 7 6 5 on the D and the A string, down to the 3rd fret here on the A, which is a C note, and then you got 5 4 3 on the E string, and then you could even hit the low E. So the whole thing, if you wanted to play the whole scale all the way down, and this is what I do a lot when I just like kind of do sort of like 80s stuff or whatever, like Eddie Van Halen. This is one of the scales that those guys use to just like sort of play fast all the time. It's 5 7 8 on the E, or the G, B, and E's, and it sounds like if you were just gonna play something random, you can do stuff like, you know, like that. So it's sort of that type of a deal, and I'm sorry that, like I said, I hope everybody's not like, you know, clicking off the video now, because this is the part that probably everybody wanted, but it kind of walks down like that. I'll sort of give you did. So it's kind of like this. If you ever heard guys do that kind of a lick, so that one is 5, 8, 5, 5 on the E, 8, 5 on the B, and then 7 on the G. And you just do that as fast as you can. Except this one, when I ended the solo in the video, I did it here. So this is 8 and then 10, 8 on the B. So 8 on the E, 10, 8 on the B, and then 9 on the G. And I don't think that's even the lick at the end of that solo. I'm going to be totally honest with you. But that's what I just kind of, like I said, I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but I just if you just kind of do that, as long as you end up on that A right there, which is the 10th fret on the B string, you should be good. So I don't know if that helps or hurts. Maybe it's like, oh, you know, I don't really have to learn it and I can still sound good. Maybe it's like, well, Nick, you're just I'm unsubscribing now because you just suck. Which, either way, I don't know. Sorry, I guess. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, sorry for rambling a little bit there, but that's that section. Okay, so then you are here. You end the fast lick stuff here, and then you go up to back up to the 20th fret on the B string. And then you do one of those type of deals. So it's 20 on the B, and then you kind of bend it up. You don't have to get all the way to the A note there, but and then all that is 17 here on the E string, to 20 on the E string, to 20, or back to 17 to 20 on the B string. Just kind of work the speed up on that one. It's just, and that's another one of those parts in there when I was listening to it to try to learn it. It's kind of sloppy, and I don't know if there's really even an exact pattern. It sounds like that, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's kind of all over the place, and I don't know how many times he does it. I don't know if that's the exact pattern. You could you know, do kind of a Zakk Wylde thing and go, but like that's the closest thing to the real solo, I guess, would be this. And then you grab the 20 on the B and bend it up twice to the A. And on the second one, I think, kind of bend it up slower, like don't get there right away. And then shake it. Like Paul Gilbert always says, make sure, or at least he says now that he's like, you know, a blues man or whatever, shake the crap out of that thing, dude. Where are we? So you bend that twice, and then you go into this unison bend sort of section. So again, that's 17 on the E string, 20 on the the B string, and you're bending that 20 on the B string up to meet this. But it's not really unison bends, because unison bends is where you hold them, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like that. You know, you don't go, you can release this. Just make sure that you have the tip of this finger kind of touching the E or the B string there, so that when you take this finger off, your ring finger off this 20th fret, that this string doesn't ring out. And I don't know how many times that is. Let's see. It's So 8 times 8, so is 1. So 1, 8. Then you take 20th fret E, bend that up a whole bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times, and then a 9th time. So you kind of like that. So you kind of get there almost immediately to the whole step bend to the G, or the D. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. You get there almost immediately, kind of like somebody commented actually, kind of like a Marty Friedman bend, sort of, kind of a thing, like that, and then just kind of release it slowly. And then right after that bend, you do 17, 20, 17, 20 on the E, and then 20 on the B, and then unison bend, 20th fret on the B, and then 17 on the E. Alright, so you're up here doing little noodly bits. Your Weedily wees way up here. And then the next part you do a little slide down, or whatever you want to do. To get down here to the 7th fret on the G. And what you do is you just, grab it, start picking the hell out of it, and bend it up slowly to for a whole step. So it's kind of like this. Something like that. I was kind of getting all the strings in there because I just, whatever. Bend it up slow, let it down slow. And then the next part is just a little basic pentatonic riff on the G and the D strings. So you got your 5th fret. So you're picking this, then you kind of release to the 5th fret there on the G, and then you start the lick, the little lick that goes like this. So it's 5th fret, 7th fret on the G, that kind of a thing, which is 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret on the G, and then 7th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G. So 5, 7, 5 on the G. Slow it down a little bit because I'm starting to go too fast. 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the D again, 5 on the D. So the whole lick is 5, 7, 5, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7, 5 on the D. Real slow, it's like this. And then I forgot to mention too, when you get into it, this 5th fret, this first note on the 5th fret is just to start you. The lick, the repeating lick is this: 7, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, like that. So you get into it, you're picking. Like that. So you do that 6 times. Just like that, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the 7th time, instead of starting over again, you bend that 7th fret on the G up a whole step again. And that's the end of that little piece. From there, we start doing these double stop things now. You grab 8 on the B and hold it where it is, and bend the 7th fret G up a whole step, which is easier to keep in tune when you have a guitar like this, with no Floyd or anything. So you do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Forget about this 8th fret B, and then you go 7th fret, bend it up a whole step, bring it back down, up, up, and then back to the 5th fret of the G, 7th fret on the G then, and then do it again, so bend up, release, 5. And then you end on the 7th fret of the D. And like I said, always remember, you can do those little hick bends, you know, little micro bends all the time. And this sounds really good. So, and always remember, get some vibrato going in there. So do that one. So that's the little lick there. And then you kind of slide up from this note. And then this is kind of a little bit tough to cram your fingers in there, but you do the same thing you did here, 1 octave up at the 20th and 19th frets on the B and the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. And then you do 6 of the little double stops, and then you bend up just the 19 on the G, to a whole step, and then you hit the 17 on the E. So that's 6 of those, like I said, and then bend this up, 17 on the E, bend 20 on the B, up a whole step, and then what you want to do, kind of a little bit of a tricky thing, so you bend this, and then 17 on the E again, you want to do a pre-bend on that one. So you hit this note, and then you bend this note up before you pick it. Or at least most of the way. So it sounds like you're picking sort of the same note twice, but then the second note, you know, goes, kind of slurs down a little bit. So you do that, little pre-bend, and then you pull off to the 17 on the B, and then bend up 20 on the B, a whole step again. So the whole thing goes like 6. That's what it should sound like when you play it together. Not like that. Alright, time for your victory lap. This is where it gets basically super easy. There's really nothing to it. Just a bunch of straight ahead kind of bluesy things. And it's another one, it's another part that I didn't learn, at least this part on the low part that I didn't learn super closely. There's a bunch of like little variants that he does and stuff like that. But I did, like I said, I wasn't expecting this video to be anything that it became. So I just didn't bother. So, but anyway, you're up here doing your little noodly bits and weedily wheeze. And then you do like a slide, or, you know, pick slide, just a regular, whatever you want to do to get down here to the 5th fret on the E string, the low E, obviously. And then I'll just kind of play this slow. All it is just straight ahead pentatonic shape on the low strings. So 3, 5 on the E, 3, 5 on the A. You know, just right up, and then you go up the scale from there. kind of a thing. So I'll play it really, really slow. I don't want to like waste a bunch of time, you know, because like I said, I didn't even learn it right anyway. So if you just approximate this, you'll be good. So here we go. So that's kind of what I do for that little part, and then you just kind of walk up the scale and get the 5th fret on the G, kind of micro bend it or whatever, blues bend, to the 7th fret on the D, and then you kind of do the same thing but just, you know, an octave up. And then you do, here's another double step part, I sort of forgot about this. So you do 7 on the G and the B. You only do it once on that first one. But then you do 7, you know, so the double stop on 7 and then just regular 5G, 7G. Then you do the same kind of a bend thing on 7, but just on the G string. So you bend up, down, 5 on the G. You do your little bendy bits there. And then you kind of get back into the motif or whatever. And then you do double stops again, so 7th fret on the B and G. But you bend up, I usually pull it down. I get a better grip that way, but you can go up or down or whatever you want. Then you do, like I said, you do 7 on the G and the B, and then 5 on the G and the B. Always shaking it, always vibrato. Alright, so the last there's a little bit of a tricky part. Well, I find them tricky sometimes. The unison bend climb that happens after, you know. They're kind of, they're not really hard, I guess, but they're kind of tricky if you're not keeping it tight, you know. So the way to think about this is this finger, your first finger, walks up the pentatonic scale, the A pentatonic on the B string. So it just is this. So if you just keep this finger on those notes, and then your ring finger goes 2 frets above that on the G string. So for example, the first one is the 5th fret B, 7th fret G, and you bend up the G string to match the note that you're playing here. And then, like I said, just keep that shape, and just watch your first finger and walk up the A pentatonic scale on the B string. So keeping this shape, your first finger goes from the 5th fret, all on the B string, from the 5th fret, 5th to the 8th to the 10th to the 13th to the 15th, and then we stop on the 17th, and that's where, again, where your first finger is. That's what I was saying. So this one, and I kind of got fat fingers a little bit, so I switched from the ring finger to the middle finger up here because it's just a little bit easier. And then you kind of pick that 3 times, or, you know, kind of hold it for. So you go, this is the line, it goes like this. And then you get into the next part, which is this. 17 on the B and the E. Pick 17B once, and then the 17E twice. and then 17B again once, and then the 20th fret you take it on the E string, that is, and then bend it up a whole step 3 times, and then you release it, shake it, and pick it. Don't be afraid to, really beat it up there. So again, real slow. And then, the last time you pick it, kind of slide down. And that takes us to the very last part, which is kind of, once again, one of those things that I didn't really, it kind of, and it also fades out at the end of the song, didn't really learn it, fades out at the end of the song. The idea is this: double stop bends again, 5 on the G of the B, so you go, and then you get your double stop down here, 5 on the G and a B. Kind of that same idea again as before, a little bit. So you're just kind of bouncing between 7 and 5 on a D, and then that little double stop there. So, and actually, I think, did I say that you come down and hit this first? Because you don't. You just start right, 7 5 7, then your little double stop. Then whatever you want to do there. I mean, you could kind of, what I did in the video, I did a little bit of dime bag stuff at the end. Then you can kind of just do your own little outro solo, or you can kind of, riff on that part. Kind of sloppy today, but yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully this turned out okay. And hopefully it made at least some sense. Like I said, I'm not the greatest at teaching, but everybody wanted it, and gonna be honest, not trying to be a jerk again, but I think I probably have the most accurate one on YouTube. Which, whatever. There's a kid that does one, he is like spinning around in a chair and stuff. His is kind of funny and cool. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to, toot my own horn or anything. It's too late, but it's finally here. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you'll be able to play it. That'll be cool. And once again, I just want to say thank you for all the views that video got. There's a couple of my videos that have like a lot of views. That one's got the most by far. When I played the national anthem at Syracuse, that one's got like 50,000 some. And I never really, well, I never did a video or any kind of post or anything saying thank you. So, thank you. And thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, I guess comment. I'll try to get back to everybody, or as many people as I can. Yeah, but hopefully I did do a community post too where I said people can give suggestions or whatever, what they want to see. I know people wanted to see this. There's some other covers people wanted. There's some stuff I'm gonna do. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video.